Hey there, friends, and welcome to Meaningful Living. My name's Michelle, and my partner Paul and I are always on the lookout for the most helpful and interesting ideas to share with you. How are you doing today? Are you feeling good? Drop a few words in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I also want to remind you to take a moment and be kind to yourself as we dive into this. If you're gardening or doing something else while you listen, just remember to take a break and care for your body. If you're over 60, you've probably spent a lifetime working hard, raising a family, and putting the needs of others before your own. Now, as you begin this beautiful new chapter, whether you call it retirement, a new beginning, or just your time, something truly powerful starts to happen. You begin to understand that life isn't about chasing more, it's about choosing better. But here's an important truth that doesn't get talked about enough. Sometimes living a better life means letting go. It's not about adding more to your plate, but about thoughtfully taking things off of it. The habits, beliefs, and pressures that no longer serve you. Did I end this video? We're going to explore 9 things you should consider releasing after the age of 60. And this isn't because you've done anything wrong. It's because you've earned the right to experience more joy, more peace, and more freedom. These are insights I've gathered from over 10 years of sitting with people just like you, folks in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, who have shown me what it truly means to live well. Stay with me until the very end, because the last point might just change how you wake up tomorrow morning. Let's begin. 1. Stop saving out of fear. Here's the first thing to release after 60. Stop saving money out of fear. Now, I know that might sound a little strange at first. After all, saving is a habit many of us were taught from a young age. Save for a rainy day, save for retirement, save just in case. For most of your life, that mindset served you well. But at a certain point, especially once you hit your 60s, saving out of fear can actually start to hold you back. Let me explain. The purpose of saving is to prepare for your future. It's a tool to help you build the life you want later on. But what happens when later is already here? What happens when you've saved enough, your financial needs are covered, and yet you still feel terrified to spend a single dollar? I've seen this happen time and time again. I remember a client named Tom who had a beautiful home in upstate New York, no debt, and over $1 million in his retirement accounts. He had more than enough to last the rest of his life. But every time his wife, Linda, suggested a trip to visit their grandkids in California, or even just a nice dinner out, Tom would get anxious. He would say, "What if something happens? What if we need that money later?" I gently asked him, "But Tom, what if you never use it? What if later never comes the way you expect?" That question stayed with him, and maybe it resonates with you, too. Saving is crucial, but at some point, you have to trust the life you've built. You have to give yourself permission to enjoy it, to take the trip, buy the gift, and create a memory. Do it without recklessness, but also without guilt. If you've planned well and your basic needs are met, the money you've saved isn't just for emergencies. It's for living. It's for connection. It's for joy. So, today I want to offer you this shift. Instead of asking, "What if I run out?" start asking, "What is worth spending on while I still can?" Your time is now, not someday. 2. Stop spending on what doesn't bring you joy. The second thing to release after the age of 60 is this. Stop spending money on things that don't bring you joy. Now that you've given yourself permission to spend, let's make sure you're spending it on the right things. It's so easy to fall into patterns. We buy things out of habit, or guilt, or obligation. We try to keep up with the neighbors, please others, or fill a void we haven't taken the time to name. But if you stop and really think about it, how much of your spending actually makes you happy? I once spoke with a woman named Sarah in her early 70s. She told me she used to spend thousands of dollars a year on clothes she never wore, gifts she felt pressured to give, and gadgets she bought just because they were on sale. But the one purchase she remembered with the most fondness? A $600 flight to surprise her sister for her birthday. They laughed, they cried, and they stayed up all night sharing memories. That single weekend meant more to her than all those shopping trips combined. That's the difference between just spending and spending well. After 60, your money should be aligned with what you value most. Maybe that's travel, or contributing to your grandchildren's education, or weekly dinners with friends, or maybe it's that new reclining chair that finally makes your back feel better. Whatever it is, spend on that. Let go of the spending that feels heavy, meaningless, or rushed. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to enjoy your life. And remember, joy doesn't always have a price tag. Sometimes the richest moments are the simplest ones. Sitting on the porch with someone you love, sending a handwritten letter, or taking a walk in nature without your phone. So before you open your wallet, ask yourself, is this helping me live the life I want? Or is it just noise? Spend with intention, spend with heart, because the goal isn't to have more or less, it's to have meaning. 3. Stop trading time for money. The third thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this. Stop trading your time for money, unless it still brings you meaning. For most of your life, time and money were deeply connected. You worked for a paycheck. You earned your living by showing up, putting in the hours, and doing the job, even when it was hard or thankless. That was a necessary part of building the life you have today. But now you're in a different chapter, and in this chapter, your time is your most valuable currency. Ask yourself honestly, are you still working because you love it, or because you're afraid to stop? Does your job give you purpose, or does it just keep you busy? I'm not saying you should retire just because you turned 60. If you still find joy in your work, if it gives you energy, structure, and connection, then keep doing it. But do it by choice, not by habit or fear. I knew a wonderful high school shop teacher named Frank who taught for over 30 years. When he turned 62, everyone kept asking, "When are you going to retire?" His answer was simple, "When I stop loving it." He kept teaching until he was 67, and then one morning he just knew it was time. He walked away with a feeling of peace, not regret. But I also see the other side, people who stay in jobs they no longer enjoy simply because they don't know who they are without that role. People who are afraid to slow down because they've never been given permission to just be. The truth is, you can always earn more money, but you can never earn more time. Once today is gone, it's gone, and no paycheck can buy it back. So, if your work still fulfills you, keep going with pride. But if it drains you, if it's holding you back from the life you want to live, it may be time to release it. You've traded time for money for long enough. Now it's time to trade time for meaning. 4. Stop putting off experiences. The fourth thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this. Stop putting off the experiences you've always wanted. How many times have you said, "I'll take that trip someday," or "I'll learn that skill next year," or "I'll start that adventure when things settle down"? But here's the hard truth. Someday isn't a day on the calendar. And for many people, someday never comes. I remember a lovely couple, Susan and George, who had dreamed of driving across the country in an old vintage camper. They had the money, they had the time, but year after year, they kept saying, "Next summer." Then one winter, George had a minor health scare. It wasn't life-threatening, but it was enough to make them pause. That was the moment they realized they had been waiting for permission that would never come. So they packed up, hit the road, and 6 months later, they told me it was the best decision they had ever made. Not because every day was perfect, but because they finally did it. That's the power of taking action now. So I want to ask you, what is something you've been putting off? A trip? A new hobby? A visit with an old friend? Why not now? You don't need to wait for retirement to start living. You don't need everything to be perfect. And you don't need anyone else to say it's okay. Because here's something most people don't realize until it's too late. Work can be an excuse, routine can be an excuse, even planning can be an excuse. Behind the waiting, there is often fear. Fear of change, fear of doing something new, fear of finally prioritizing yourself. But what if this year you let go of waiting? What if you gave yourself permission to start living now? Not in 5 years, not when the timing is right, but now. You're not too old, it's not too late, and you are allowed to make memories that feel like magic, no matter your age. The world is still full of wonder. You just have to say yes. 5. Stop neglecting your health. The fifth thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this. Stop neglecting your health. Now, I want to say this with love because I know it can be a sensitive topic, but it's one we have to talk about. A lot of people think of retirement in terms of how many years they might have left. 15 years, 25 years, maybe more. But the better question is this: how many healthy years do you have left? Because without your health, real, lasting health, it doesn't matter how much money is in the bank, how many trips you've planned, or how beautiful your home is. If you don't have the energy or ability to enjoy it, it all starts to slip away. Let me ask you, would you rather have $20 million but feel sick, tired, and in pain every day? Or would you rather have just $1 million but feel vibrant, strong, and full of life? Most people, when they stop and truly think about it, would choose the second. And yet, strangely, many of us live like we are chasing the first. Here's the good news. You don't need to completely overhaul your life to feel better. You don't need to become a marathon runner or switch to a strict diet overnight. Start small. Start by walking a little more each day, by choosing water instead of soda, by stretching in the morning, or joining a local fitness class designed for people your age. Even light strength training with a coach can do wonders for your balance, energy, and independence. This isn't about losing weight or chasing youth. It's about keeping your freedom. It's about being able to play with your grandchildren, travel without pain, and wake up with energy instead of fatigue. Your body is your vehicle for the life you want, and just like any vehicle, it needs regular care, maintenance, and love. So, take care of yourself. Make that doctor's appointment you've been avoiding. Take that first walk around the block. Prepare one healthy meal this week, just one. Because health isn't about perfection, it's about momentum, and the best time to start is now. 6. Stop worrying about what others think. The sixth thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this: stop worrying about what other people think. Let's be honest, for most of our lives, we have been shaped by the expectations of others. We try to be the good parent, the loyal employee, the reliable friend. We follow the rules. We do what is expected. But at some point, you have to ask, who am I living for now? I once had a client, a woman named Emily in her mid-60s, who had loved art her entire life. She had dreamed of taking a painting class, but she always hesitated. She would say, "What if I'm not any good? What if people think it's silly at my age?" You know what I told her? So what if they do? She took the class, and it changed everything. Not because she became a famous artist, but because she finally gave herself permission to do something just for her. No apologies, no explanations. Here's something powerful I want you to remember. The older you get, the more freedom you earn to stop caring about the noise around you. You want to wear bold colors? Do it. You want to travel alone? Do it. You want to say no to family gatherings that exhaust you? You have that right. This isn't about being rude or selfish. It's about living authentically so you don't look back with regret. There's a book written by a hospice nurse named Bronnie Ware, where she shares the top regrets of people at the end of their lives. Do you know what the number one regret was? I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Let that sink in. Because when you live by other people's standards for too long, you begin to disappear from your own life. So today, release the pressure. Let go of the need to impress. Say what you mean, do what you love, and allow yourself to be seen, fully, honestly, beautifully, just as you are. There is only one you, and it's never too late to show up for your own life. 7. Stop watching the doom and gloom. The seventh thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this: stop watching the doom and gloom, at least not every day. Now, this one might surprise you, so let me be clear. I'm not saying you should bury your head in the sand. Staying informed is important, and being aware of the world around you is part of being a thoughtful citizen. But there's a huge difference between staying informed and being emotionally consumed. If you spend hours every day watching the news, no matter which channel, you might start to feel like the world is falling apart. And that constant stress, anxiety, and fear, it builds up. It wears on your body, it clouds your mind, and it steals your peace. Here's a question I often ask people. Have you ever met someone who said, "After watching 3 hours of cable news every night, I feel so much better about life"? Neither have I. But I have met dozens of people who told me that once they stepped away from the nonstop news cycle, their mental health improved, their mood lifted, and they felt more hopeful, more present, and more at ease. You see, most of the news you watch isn't designed to inform you. It's designed to keep your attention, and fear is a powerful hook. After 60, you start to realize that your attention is one of your most valuable resources, and you get to choose where it goes. You can focus on what is broken, or you can focus on what is still beautiful. There is still kindness in the world. There are still good people doing good things. There is still music, laughter, learning, growing, and love. So, stay informed, yes, but not at the cost of your peace. Limit how much you take in. Turn off the television when you need to. Choose uplifting stories and ask yourself, has watching this helped me take action? Has it improved my life? Or is it just making me feel helpless? After all the years you've lived, you deserve more than to sit in fear. You deserve peace, you deserve joy, and you deserve to spend your energy on things you can actually control. 8. Stop ignoring your financial plan, but also stop obsessing over it. The 8th thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this: stop ignoring your financial plan, but also stop obsessing over it. It's a delicate balance. On one side, you have people who completely avoid their finances. They say things like, "It's too overwhelming, I'll deal with it later," or "I don't even want to look at it." But here's the truth: avoiding your financial plan doesn't make the problems go away. It makes them grow in the dark. After 60, it's more important than ever to have a clear understanding of what your money is doing. How much income do you need each month? What happens if your health changes? Are you protected from the unexpected? You don't need to be an expert, but you do need a plan, one that gives you peace of mind. Now, let me speak to the other side, the people who think only about their finances. You know the type. Maybe you are one of them. They analyze every single dollar. They ask, if I take a vacation, will that impact my tax efficiency? They delay joy because of a spreadsheet. But here's the problem with that. You didn't save and invest just to look at your numbers on a screen. You did it to live. So yes, talk to a trusted advisor, check your accounts, and make sure the basics are covered. But then let go. Let your money do what it was meant to do. Support your life, not control it. A strong financial plan should give you the confidence to say yes, not a fear that keeps you frozen. I once told a client this, and it changed his entire perspective. The sign of a great retirement plan isn't just a high account balance, it's a life well lived. So stop avoiding your finances out of fear, and stop obsessing over them out of anxiety. Start using your finances as a tool to build the life you want, one joyful, intentional decision at a time. 9. Stop living like you have forever. The 9th and final thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this: stop living like you have forever. I say that not to scare you, but to invite you to live more fully. By the time we reach our 60s, most of us have been touched by loss. Maybe you've lost a parent, a sibling, or a dear friend. And in those quiet, sacred moments of grief, we are reminded of something we often forget. Life is not unlimited. We all know this in theory, but still, we put things off. We wait for the right moment. We convince ourselves we'll get around to it. But the truth is, you never really know how much time you have left, and that makes today incredibly precious. I sometimes ask my clients a simple but powerful question. If you knew with absolute certainty that this was your last year, what would you do differently? Who would you call? What would you say? What would you stop tolerating? And what would you finally start doing? Most people can answer that question very quickly, but then they go back to living the same way they always have. So let me ask you, what is stopping you from doing some of that now? You don't need to wait for a diagnosis or a crisis to wake up. You can wake up today with full awareness of just how fleeting and beautiful life really is. You can forgive someone. You can start that journal. You can book the trip, take the class, plant the garden, or say, "I love you" before the moment slips away. No, you can't do everything in one day, but you can begin. Because the point isn't to live in fear of death. The point is to live in respect for life. To honor this one wild, irreplaceable life that you still have. You're here. You are breathing. You have today. And that is enough reason to stop waiting and start truly living. So there you have it. 9 things to let go of after the age of 60. Not because you have done anything wrong, but because you have earned the right to live more lightly, more freely, and more intentionally. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about making space. Space for peace, for joy, for presence, and for what really matters. Let's take a quick moment to review what we've covered today. Let go of saving out of fear. Let go of spending without joy. Let go of trading your time for money when your time is worth more. Let go of putting off the experiences that make you feel alive. Let go of neglecting your health, your greatest asset. Let go of worrying about what other people think. Let go of the constant noise of negativity. Let go of financial fear, but don't ignore your plan. And most of all, let go of the illusion that you have forever, because the truth is you have right now, and that is enough to begin. Before we close, I want to ask you a question. What are you ready to let go of starting today? Share your own tips in the comments below. Your advice could be incredibly helpful to others. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to Meaningful Living for more tips and inspiration to enrich your daily life. We're here to help you live your best life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, your heart, and your trust. And above all, thank you for reminding the world that it is never too late to live a life filled with purpose, connection, and joy. We'll see you in the next one.